Hello, my name is Kimberle-Anne Young. There are lots of key points in the text teaching that changes lives. 12 mindset tools for igniting the love of learning. But for this presentation, we will look at 3 chapters. Chapter 2, Mindset, All the Difference. Chapter 9, Becoming a Resilient Learner. And Chapter 12, Opening New Possibilities. Let's start with Chapter 2, the choice map. It's the key topic of this book, so it's appropriate that I start my presentation with Chapter 2. The choice map is anything that impacts us at any moment. Thoughts or ideas and the thought process that leads to your path. Feelings, how the situation makes you feel, happy, sad, excited, intrigued, etc. Or circumstances, is the environment that fits the situation that you are in. The road splits to 2 choices. The learner mindset, paved with options of choice. And the judger mindset, where there is no thought process, you just react. Let's start with the judger mindset, the modern day path we all take eventually. Asking questions like whose fault is it? Is our first question. We are always looking to see who did what wrong that made us turn into judge and jury. The judger mindset, you'll find fault with yourself for being in the situation, asking questions like, what's wrong with me? After you clear your name, you turn to the least involved person and say, what's wrong with them? As if they brought you to the problem themselves alone. The judger mindset, struggling with the automatic reactions that in the judger mindset standpoint, I have no filter. I'm just saying words. I struggle with the automatic reaction, finding that the judger standpoint, I have no filter, just words, saying them, even if they hurt people or not. My comments are blame focused with no forgiveness or accountability on my part whatsoever. Finding myself not caring if I win or lose, just doing what I feel. Then, always, I find myself in the judger pit of mud, being sucked into the quicksand that I built off my own reactions. As I get sucked down, I'm forced to ask myself questions like, why am I such a failure? Every time I try to communicate, no one understands me. Then we just give up and say, what's the bother? And move away from the goal that was meant to be achieved. But look, I can go back to the question, whose fault is it? I have the opportunity to ask learner questions that don't lead me to the judger pit of mud. We must know that we have the choice at any point to change the path. Look, a bush. There is a switch, a new path. I can switch here and take the learner mindset. But for this presentation, we're going to start over so we can see where I went wrong. We'll start over and try the learner path where the root is based off my choices. On this path, you'll find yourself asking questions like, what happened? How did I get to this position? How can I fix this without leading to judgment? What do I want for both me and others? Thinking of what I expect and what others expect, and trying to get it accomplished by learning from the situation to make it better. Trying to leave out my assumptions and make sound decisions based off facts. What are they thinking, feeling, and wanting? Trying to take into account the emotions that might be sparked by my actions and words. Am I responsible enough to take this position? Because the learner mindset requires a degree of dedication and accountability. What's possible? What can I do to make this happen, if it's even possible? An article I found on Tyndale.com explains the ever-learning experience through Jesus Christ's words, saying, Jesus Christ himself invites us to join him in the adventure of learning, saying, take my yoke upon you and learn from me. He says in Matthew 11:29, learn from me. Other versions say, and still others learn with me. All are correct. The idea Jesus is saying is to get in harness with me, join up with me, come alongside me, learn from me, learn of me, learn about me. I remember, since I have support, the possibilities are endless, and leads me to ask, what are my choices? Lastly, I ask myself, what's best to do now? My choice might be possible, but is it the right time, or do I have to learn more to get others to fully understand? This map is the key to taking the right path, the learner path, living with the thought that when you know better, you do better. Which leads us to chapter 9. Becoming a resilient learner. Walt Disney says, we keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps us down new paths. This is an ever-learning experience I'm entering. I cannot enter into this and not expect to learn anything. I could never understand why a person will pay for education and not expect to learn anything. It's like ordering a really expensive meal, paying the bill, and not eating the food. You just throw it in the trash can. The teacher must be like a sponge, absorbing all lessons that is experienced, working hard to find out that you can learn and be hungry to understand. If you don't feel hunger to understand and learn from it, you might find yourself in a cycle that leads to a circle of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. The resilient learner learns from the past failures and tries again. They don't stop. They keep going until the lesson is learned. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's easy. But the key is to keep going, using that bounce back to overcome the learning block, making the learner resilient. Even the Bible speaks on the power we have to keep going with scriptures like Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Or Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understandings. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Which leads us to chapter 12, opening to new possibilities. Once you cross that block, I reach my goal, but I get there and I see there are endless possibilities, so many choices because of what I've learned. You might find that you're in a class all alone, no one with your mindset of skills you've learned. The opportunities are endless. This path of learning, really having focused and having retention, pays off. But you can't just go with what makes you comfortable. You have to think outside the box. Some people limit their learning to what they are good at, but often it's not all we are capable of. We are limiting ourselves because we let people think we have to be set on one thing. That's not true. I do agree, whatever you like to do, do it. It's not work if you enjoy it, and you won't get bored with the options involved. Having an open mindset means you have freed yourself from not having options. You're not bound to one way. Even the Bible speaks on the power we have to keep going with scriptures like Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The world requires a certain amount of adaptation that requires a level of education that can't be faked. It's very true and very factual. We all have the option to view life in either the judgment mindset or the learner mindset. It's my job to find the learner mindset and leave breadcrumbs for others to take the right path. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.